All right, let's see here. All right, everybody, welcome back to Middle Earth. My name's Bo, one of the GMs for Blades and Blasters, and we have brand new campaign that we're going to start tonight. We're going to play some Tor 2E with the boys. We have Ghost playing Derc, son of Vulf. We have Tet playing Fenlaf, half golden. We have Wanderer playing Tarnion. Last but not least, playing Belechor, we have Doc. And without further ado, we will go ahead and get started. Show player. You should see a journal entry there.
Yes.
Yep.
Last session was prologue. Check that out, by the way, everybody on the internet. We have 40 views so far, so that's huge on the first session. But we did a prologue session with Doc, so check it out. But at any rate, spring in the year 2950 of the Third Age. Much that once was is lost, and some things that should not be forgotten are remembered only by the wise. For the One Ring, thought lost to the mist of legend, has been found, though its name is not yet spoken in council. In the east, beyond the mountains of shadow, word spreads that the Nameless One has returned to his ancient seat. The hearts of free folk are troubled, for signs of evil multiply. Wolves prowl the woods, goblins stir, and the mountains belch forth orcs in growing number. In the gap, a king whose heart yearns more for gold than for peace has watched one son, Thengel, leave for Gondor, desiring the company of their southern allies rather than that of his own king father. His other son, Fenlaf, born out of wedlock, also leaves of his own accord, choosing exile rather than the shame of his sire's indiscretions. Aragorn II, chieftain of the Dunedain, has called for a council in Bree. Do the rangers of the north take action, casting their gaze south and east, or do they maintain their vigilant watch upon the borders of the northern kingdom, long perished into the past? But others' concerns are not so lofty, nay! The mass of men in this time are not counted among the wise, nor do they hold such haughty counsel. Their concerns are of blood and vengeance. Southwards, Derc has come, following the course of river and memory until he stands at the edge of the Swanfleet, where the waters of the Loud Water and the Horwell spill into a wide, reedy marsh. Here he hunts for the remains of his father, who he thinks killed or captured by marauding orcs. He searches the marshes for signs of passage, noting a crumbling city far to the north, even as the sun dims against a cloudy twilight. Overhead, swans circle, calling out in their lonely voices. And we transition to Derc, son of Vulf, as he treads through a marsh, bending a reed here and there, looking for sign of his father. The day wears on, and he's been at it for hours upon end. Though he may be wary, he finally sees the ancient city of Tharbad ahead, crumbling in ruins over the horizon. Far to his left, he sees one clearing in a field, which must be the great north-south road. He doesn't know if he missed any signs of his father or if he's gone the whole wrong direction entirely. But, Derc, I'll let you take it away.
Derc looks around the plains first, sees the north-south road. He kneels to look for the tracks again that he has followed for the last few days. They had led here clear as day before, but now they mingle with the dirt and mud of the marsh. Tracks of man, horse, and orc all mingled. He looks at the tracks again and looks over to the crumbling city. This is as far as he's been from home. And he has heard stories from his father of this place, this city built by civilized men when they grew fat and comfortable. And there it is, the result of not being tested. There is a city ruined, flooded, and useless. Just like Father said. He looks back down to the mud and begins to look again to see if he can find the trail for direction.
As you look to try to find the trail, you notice swans wheeling overhead. You notice ripples in the water. This place is just teeming with life. Give me a hunting check there, sir. It's your first roll of the campaign. Great success. Yeah. You're going to get a +1 die on the scan check I'm going to have you make in just a moment. But yeah, you pick up on what seems to be a trail of orcs as they drag something out of the water, kind of on the far side of this marsh here. You see a trail of bent cattails, broken branches. Here and there, you see a hastily hewn tree that's been hewn down and maybe carried along for firewood later in the night.
He looks over the tree, sees the cattails bent and turned. Clumsy creatures, just like Father said. Goes to follow it.
And as you kind of cross over this little trickling stream and slash out onto the other side, you notice a little trickle. This is a great success. So something's trailing behind you. Almost you see a little spindly, almost rat-like tail leap up and out of the water and plop back into it, sending ripples behind you. You don't sense any danger, but that sixth sense that all those who are canny and crafty in the wild get that sense that you're being watched.
Yeah, he turns to look from the source. He'll crouch down a bit and pull out his bow and get ready to knock an arrow.
Give me your scan check now, and you get a +1 D with that without having to use hope. You should be able to modify it from the roll screen there.
Yeah.
Nope. Boop. Not only does that thing plop under the water not to be seen by you again, but probably 50 yards away, now kind of just deviating to the side of the Great East Road, there's somebody else traveling northwards. We're going to go and talk a little bit Fenlaf.
Hey, is it what season is it? Winter, spring, blah blah blah.
April. It is spring. And as the sun sets, traveling north towards Tharbad, again, another traveler far from home, Fenlaf.
You ready for me?
Go ahead. Yep.
The road was sodden with spring melt, winding like a half-forgotten tale through the borderlands of Dunland in the north. April's breath lay damp upon the earth, and though no leaves yet crowned the branches, the land was stirring, mud replacing snow and rivers swelling with thaw. Fenlaf rode alone through the walking wild, the chill wind of the Horwells tugging at his cloak. The Loudwater gleamed to the east, swift and silver, and before him across the floodplain rose a moss-wrapped remnant of Tharbad, broken and silent in gray light. He had left Rowan with the dying of winter. Not banished nor pursued, but self-exiled by choice and by oath, the banners still hung in his home, and the king still held court, but Fenlaf had turned his face from them. His father, King Fingal, had named him heir before all, and would not be swayed. His mother, Branwen, the Dark Beauty, had stood beside him, saying nothing, though her silence spoke volumes. It was a triumph long in the making, and not of his own. Yet Fenlaf had made a vow long ago in the white towers of Gondor. He had knelt to his elder brother Thingol, and sworn that should the crown ever be offered to him, he would cast it aside. And now that vow had come due. He took with no god, no honorific, no sign of station, only his horse, Hradskima, his blade, whose name meant shadow of suddenness, and the steed he had broken with his own hands. He left at dawn without fanfare, without tears, and rode west beneath the sky of color and ash. His friends, those few loyal and true, he bade farewell in quiet, leaving them behind with the court and the noise. Through Dunlin he passed in silence, making no call upon the clans who might claim him by blood. They would not welcome the son of a Rohan king. No matter his mother's name, he found shelter where he could, beneath the crags and shepherds' huts, once even in a hollow of an old barrow where the snow still clung to stone. The people eyed him warily, and twice he faced steel, but he asked no quarter and he gave none. Now April rains fell soft and steady on his shoulders as he pressed northward. The grasses along the banks were beginning to green, birds wheeled high above the water, and in the distance frogs sang in ruined pools where once kings of old had crossed. Tharbad lay due ahead, a place of ghosts and broken bridges, but beyond that he did not know. Gondor would not have him, not yet, and Rohan was lost to him until Thingol returned to claim it. So he rode on, a sword on his hip, an axe on his back, and a vow in his heart, not seeking glory but purpose, not a throne but a life unshadowed by it. And if none such could be found in this world, then he would make one.
With such ruminations looming in your mind like the roiling clouds overhead as the sun sets into the west, a gentle rain starts pitter-pattering on the path, pitter-pattering on your helm. Well, you probably aren't wearing it, but on your horse, and making everything completely soggy and muddy. Your past, your exile, follows you. And though you keep your oath, it weighs heavy on your soul. Did you do the right thing to exile yourself? To not betray an oath, but still leave your own father? Was it the right thing to do? And I want to let your first roll be a wisdom check. If you fail this one, we'll give you one shadow point, sir, as your decisions weigh heavy on your heart.
Wisdom, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And just roll it as normal, no
Yes.
benefits or anything like that, okay. That's not great.
Tell me the mood as the rain starts to come down once again, and you see, again, just like Derc described it, a once great city built by the men of Westerness many years ago that's fallen into disrepair, almost swallowed by the marsh, just limping along.
His path through Dunland, he had grown more morose as he went. The further he traveled from his home and his people, which he considers to be his own, fully. He had never been to Dunland before, though he had never brandished steel against them. It was, however, a sad affair when he had to do just that on his way. Bandits or brigands, or those that simply hated him for his blonde hair and his lineage that they could never know. Either way, he missed his friends, he missed his home. even his father and mother, who he had become distant with due to their scheming and lack of proper rule in the place that he loved. He looks upon these foreign lands and this ancient ruin and wonders if this will come to his place, to his home one day from misrule of his father. He wondered about his brother and what he would think of all this, if he would blame him for his father's decision. It saddened him to think of his father and his brother split, although they had long been removed from one another. He looks up and the wet rain rolls down his trimmed beard, his nose, his leather corset, and his cloak thrown upon it. His horse's mane is wet, and it snorts as it slowly trods forth through the muddy dirt and road.
And as you come forth, the road almost kind of seems to turn this way and that. Perhaps traders and wagons have pulled off before reaching the dilapidated town to fix a wheel or catch a quick meal. But it seems to you, mounted as you are on your horse through the rain, you see on the other side of a small stream a figure garbed in furs, low to the ground, as if searching for something, crash through the cattails. You hear in the rain a little plop, and your gaze follows that of Derc, and then you see him kind of draw his bow, gazing into the water. Although he does not see you, Fenlaf, you spy him from high atop your horse, with his bow drawn.
Fenlaf wonders if this will be another test on the road. He has found these lands to be inhospitable, not unlike what his friends and kinsmen had thought of these people and these lands. He, however, is a man that judges people by their words and their actions and not by where they were born or who to they were born. Else he would be not any different than them. Those that cast dispersion upon him because of his mixed heritage, he would not follow the same path. He sits upon his palfrey, white in coat, and stands up in his stirrups and says, "Lo there! I come in peace. I see you yonder. I only wish to pass. I mean you no ill."
Dirk spins and sees the man atop his horse. How far would you say that he is from me?
I don't know, 20 yards. We're gonna cut to the other guys here in a minute after
Okay.
you guys approach each other.
Gotcha. Are you cutting now or?
Oh no, not
Oh,
now.
okay. My fault.
Yeah, if you wanna. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so he takes note of the rider, and the bow remains out, arrow knocked, but not pointed at the rider, and he looks around, looks to the plopping once again, sees it is gone, but he slowly starts to walk towards the rider, arrow pointed towards the dirt. Hello there, rider. And he starts getting closer and taking note of the man's features. He's a bit wary. There's a stiffness to him, a caution, as he slowly approaches, so that he does not have to shout.
Unlike Derc, Fenlaf is unarmed. There is an axe on his back, a single-bladed axe that you might see. Probably not that common in Dunland, but definitely a war axe. And then on his hip there is a scabbard for a sword. He tips his head slightly. He's not currently wearing his helmet. He says, "Well met on this soggy day."
Yeah, that's it.
Good.
Yep, I think that's a good place. The horse approaches, and these two come together. And as they try to size each other up, we're going to move to the north. Many, many nights ago, although still in the spring, as we mentioned, a council was called in Bree. The word went out through many couriers, some more skilled than others. Right, Doc?
That's right.
Even coming as far west as Annuminas, the fallen city of kings, one of the capitals of the great northern kingdom of old. And of their number, a man by the name of Tarnion was called, and he has come by strange ways and strange pastures and small roads and highways, eventually to an area approaching north of Bree. He passes the Chetwood on his left. He hears a nightingale sing. He hears the skitter of squirrels and other creatures. And he can see far ahead as lights twinkle on one by one, warm light and laughter spilling out of the town of Bree. These borders of Bree, of the Shire, of Ariador itself, the homes of the free people of Middle-earth, is what Tarnion thinks about as he approaches his destination. I'll let you take it away, Tarnion.
Are you okay if I give a little bit of an intro to what he looks like, etc.?
Go ahead.
Cool. Tarnion is lean and long-limbed with the weathered look of one who lives beneath open sky. His dark hair falls to his shoulders, often wind-blown or loosely tied back, and his grey eyes are sharp but calm. He wears a travel-stained cloak of green-grey over worn, sturdy clothes with a sword on his hip, a bow across his back, and a scroll case slung beside his pack. A simple brooch of Dunedain design fastens his cloak, low on his body and unassuming. Though he walks like a man used to solitude, he carries himself with quiet purpose, and his smile, when it comes, is warm and unexpected. Tarnion is indeed a Dunedain, one of the Rangers of the North, a quiet man who walks the wild roads between scattered kin. He's lean and weathered from long years beneath sun and star, and though his face often carries a trace of sorrow, his words are kind, and his eyes are steady and clear. He serves not with sword alone, but with message and memory. From Bree to the Shire, from the hills of Evendim to the borders of Rivendell, Tarnion carries tidings between the free peoples. News, warnings, and the small hopes that keep folk going in troubled times. He keeps a bundle of old letters with him, messages for those long lost or gone into the shadow. Alongside them is a child's toy, a gift of thanks from a young hobbit whose father Tarnion brought safely home. One reminds him of sorrow, the other of why he still walks the road. Most who see him take him for a weary traveller, but those who speak with him, even briefly, rarely forget him, for he listens more than he speaks, and leaves behind the quiet sense that the world is still worth saving. So as Tarnion approaches Bree, he's been looking wary, but also weary. It's been a long road. The road and the air is becoming a little warmer as he's travelled south. But it's been a long and lonely road, and the roads are getting darker and more dangerous these days, so he's had to have his wits about him. But as he approaches Bree, he stops. Just at this kind of distance that we see in the picture, he stops on the road and for a second his caution drops, and he just looks upon the town. Bree is far from a special place, but he eyes it with some appreciation. Just the simplicity. Simple people living simple lives. The warmth of fire and of family. He stops to reflect for a moment that these things are often undervalued in the world. And that perhaps Bree's a little touched by its neighbours to the west, the hobbit folk of the Shire, who have more appreciation for these simple pleasures than most. Even the thought of them brings a little smile to his lips. He's long had an affection for them. But the moment soon passes, and the cares of the world settle across his shoulders again. And he begins to trudge the remaining distance into Bree, knowing that tonight at least he will have a roof over his head, a warm meal, and somewhere safe to sleep.
Very great. Wonderful. And I'm glad I have Cyberpunk next week. All this wholesomeness is just going to get to me.
We're bringing the wholesomeness, yeah.
All right, give me as your heart lifts, but your guard drops, and you let in that awe-inspiring thought that you had, that you love only the sword for that which it defends, as Faramir once said. Give me an awareness check, but give it with a 1D penalty.
How do I do that on the sheet?
So if you click on your sheet and do awareness.
Yep.
And then
I see,
bonus
penalty dice.
Yep, click
Got
one
it.
to the left. Yep.
Yep.
Eyes in the back of your head. Explain to me and roleplay what it looks like, and I'm going to bring a few other people here onto the scene. Because by byways and backways, not by choice, but by force, Belechor and his elven companion Finduilas has arrived to Bree from the east. But due to events en route, they had to finish their journey in a more stealthy way, staying to the north of the Great East Road, and using the hills and the rocky crags for cover from any eyes that might be spying to the south, eyes that they know about. And for this reason, they were even forced to go north of the Midgewater Midgewater marshes, and they're actually entering Bree now a little bit from the north through the Chetwood. And it could well be that they were resting a moment by a tree and they saw an old friend walk by, or perhaps a single traveler, and they meant to come up behind them and play a good-natured trick. Finduilas is one of the few elves who takes joy in such trite things. It would probably have been his idea. But you do have eyes in the back of your head. So roleplay how this looks to us.
Yeah, so Tarnion's still looking at the town, and he doesn't look away, but a slight smile quirks the corner of his mouth. And he, without turning, says, "Belechor, the years have been long, and perhaps your tread has grown a little less soft than once it was. Even with one of the fair folk to guide you." And then he turns, smiling, and gives a broad smile to Belechor, who he hasn't seen for some time, and a respectful bow of the head to the elf. I presume that does Tarnion know the elf?
He is a common messenger that's back and forth between multiple areas, so he likely would have traveled to Annuminas as well, yes.
Okay.
He's not very good. He can't even sneak up on you.
I presume Tarnion views him as a little bit of a kindred spirit, a carrier of messengers, someone who brings the communities together in the sense of, keeping them in touch with each other, spreading the word, spreading warning. So yes, he inclines his head and then smiles. And says, "What brings you on these roads?"
Yeah, and as Belechor is trying to sneak up on Tarnion, his footsteps are light as they can be, but as soon as Tarnion is able to spot their approach, Belechor just stops, and with a wide grin, he just drops his head, shaking it while smiling at the same time, and then slowly walks up to Tarnion, puts his arm out to grasp Tarnion's arm as well in friendship, and brings him in close, pats him on the back with one arm while holding on to the forearm, clasping forearms with the other arm. And I bring him in close. "Well met, Tarnion. You can't blame me for trying, though, can you?"
Tarnion reciprocates with that gesture and says, "Oh, of course not. You picked your time well. I was distracted for a moment there. The appeal of the simple life has often struck me as underrated, and places such as this typify it for me, particularly as twilight falls and the fires begin to light." And then he turns to is it Finduilas, was it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and he says perhaps the fair folk do not see the appeal of such things as us of the lesser kin do. And he smiles.
Do not think my long years has left me without appreciation for your people. It is not all out of duty that I go to and fro over Eriador, from Annuminas to the Angle. I am not as swift as I once was, but I get the job done. And I find the companion of your kind, well, more mirthful than my own at times. Although often not as wise, and he pats kind of Belechor over the shoulders.
With the first part of that, Tarnion was kind of inclined his head in kind of respectful agreement, and then gives a broad grin to the second bit. It says, "Well, it appears we are all traveling to the same destination. Should we continue our conversation amongst more pleasant surroundings? I feel that Belechor should by the first round, though, seeing as he so signally failed to surprise me." And he gives him a...
And Belechor laughs at that, and knowing that Finduilas can appreciate good humor, he kind of teases him, and he looks over to Finduilas and says, "Well, first the Bog of the Forgotten, and now we can't even sneak up on this ranger. I think you have some skills to practice there, my friend." Teasing him about how we got lost on our way here.
Oh.
He laughs and chuckles and says, "You do have a point. Although my skills may be harried by forces I'd rather not speak of. You both can make an insight if you'd like."
Okay. Oh down, terrible insight.
No ranks. No ranks?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, you guys don't pick up on much. Finduilas looks a little nervous, but you would probably chalk it up Belechor to, what happened on the road.
Okay.
Tarnion doesn't get much from that, but he nods and says, "Well, it seems you have tales to tell. Perhaps some more mirthful, some darker. Let us share them at the inn." I hope the prancing pony still stands. It is the prancing pony at Bree, is it? Or is it?
Yeah.
Was that?
Yes.
Okay.
Indeed.
Yeah, I hope the prancing pony still stands. It is many a year since I last came this way.
And Belechor nods as he starts walking down the pathway here. Yes, I think the last time I was at the Prancing Pony was with you, several years ago.
Ah, yes. A good night, I recall. Many tales, many pints of ale. And he turns towards Bree if the others have nothing to add. Figure there's no one
Yeah.
quite like rangers for traveling in companionable silence.
Mm-hmm.
As the three companions make their way south towards Bree, the hedgerows falling into gloom as the sun sets, they hear the sound at first of the northern gate of Bree. They hear the caller calling out. They hear a mother calling for the child who no doubt is, playing games in said hedgerows. And as they get closer to the towns, at first it's the horsemen or they smell. There's not getting around that. But eventually they smell the savory sense of meat roasting on the spit, of freshly baked bread. And even closer as they enter town, they hear the sound of laughter coming from the prancing pony. But first, we're going to go back down south of Tharbad. To speak with those of less noble blood.
Speak for yourself.
Less noble and yet more noble.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
Less noble blood and shorter legs.
Mine not my small legs.
And your tiny horse.
Perish the thought.
So there is a screen wipe, and the camera pans over marshes as swans kind of fly up out of the reeds, and the sun is setting behind Tharbad. But I think we said it was raining too, so it's raining.
Yeah. Took some creative liberties.
That gives me a reason to use my FX.
Oh, nice.
Derc approaches slowly. He gives enough distance between him and the rider. He looks him over, notes the horse, notes the hair, and he looks to the rider. Hair the color of straw, atop a beast with 4 legs. You're a long way from home, Rohirrim.
It is true, I have traveled far and wide to take me elsewhere as my heart pulls me from those valleys and dales and green fields. I wish no trouble. I give none, and would ride on, though there are others who have tried me and failed, even after I have given them this same plea of peace.
And where do you ride that takes you so far from the plains and hills of your home?
I have no specific destination. I am a wanderer as of this moment. But to the north, I hear that there is a town there called Bree. I wish to look upon the old capital of Cardalon there, Tharbad. He kind of points to the ruins in the distance. That is them, or so I would expect.
A place that crumbled because they became too peaceful, too content, and did not respect nature. Yes, that is Tharbad, though you might wish to be careful walking around these parts ere of now. I'm tracking orcs what traveled this way.
No man can let an orc live if they know of their presence, for all they do is destroy. Men and places and towns and women and children, they know no bounds. I would help you if you would have my blades.
Yeah, so Derc looks him over. It seems like he's telling the truth, yeah. Well, both of you, either one.
I mean, I'm not
Yes, yep.
lying,
Yep.
though.
If you want to do an insight check and role play, I mean, we know he's not
Nah,
lying.
we know, yeah.
Yeah.
Derc slowly withdraws his arrow, shoulders his bow. It seems father was not right of all things.
And it seems as though mother perhaps was not right about all things.
And what did your mother tell us? Or tell you, rather?
That my kin in the north were a savage folk, and could not be reasoned with, for they lacked the understanding of the wide world.
And my father said that men of Rohan care for two things, their horses and themselves, and nothing else.
Men are men, no matter if they hail from north of the Gap or south. We are kin, you and I, by our blood shared as men from long ago. And although we share no familial bonds, perhaps, I will aid you, for your people deserve life and happiness as much as my own.
Very well then, kinsman. And he will nod to the rider and step forward. I am Derc, son of Vulf. And he will extend an arm up to the rider.
Yeah, I am Fenlaf, called Half Golden. My hair is not so painted as straw as some of my kinsmen.
Yeah, I'll look
And
at his
it's
hair.
like
Do I see
dirty,
like
he has like a dirty blonde hair instead of like golden blonde.
Would I think, Bo, that is... Does he carry any signs of like Dunlending heritage?
No, he does not.
Okay. Yeah,
You
he'll...
can do an insight if and you know, see if you notice like his features are a little bit not right. It's
The
up to
thing
you.
is,
Well, I've
I've never actually seen someone from Rohan up close. Is the
Okay, yeah,
thing.
then yeah.
Yeah, you could think that maybe it's normal or people are over exaggerating. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, is he... Well met, Fenlaf. Well, I had been tracking them. Think I picked up the trail when they cut down a tree clumsily, knocked over cattails in the marsh. I can lead you if you wish.
I must admit I am not much of an tracker. But you have my blade and my keen sight.
We will make use of it. He looks to the trail and he stops for a second. Oh, my father. If he lives, he will be their prisoner. I would ask that you not cut him down.
Blinks to this. Why would that be?
He does not like the Rohirrim, and even surrounded by orcs, he might take a swipe at you. I can speak with him.
Very well.
And Derc will go to follow the trail once more.
You guys both either give me a hunting or an awareness check.
That's for sure.
I am quite alright at hunting.
I'm not really great at either.
I am not very good at hunting. Oh shit.
Either one of you find it or notice. But as you take off down the trail, you're going down that little stream that Derc was following, and you hear a little plop again behind you, Derc, and you notice it immediately. And you're both startled, and you can roleplay how you react. But you hear a squeaky voice, almost in a rat-like voice. So, looking for something? Are you trying to find someone?
Fenlaf wheels his horse about, grabbing an axe off his back, looking to throw it as he's surprised by this strange voice calling out from behind him.
And what you see as you look behind you, like there's a little otter like peeking out of the water, and it's taller and larger than maybe anything you've ever seen, and just looking at you. And you don't know where that voice came from, but it's looking at you.
I mean, the Rohirrim goes slack-jawed and lowers his axe in complete dismay.
Derc turns with the spear, pulling his spear off his back, and sees this thing, and never heard of anything like this, right, Bo?
No.
Yeah.
Well, both of you lore.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Unlikely.
This is,
Oh.
It's devilry for all you know, man. Enchanted evil creature. Trickster. Who knows?
What strange creature is this? Mother never spoke of such a thing.
Creature? Who creature? I'm Nindraug.
What
Fenlaf looks
are
over
you?
to the Dunlendine in complete silence and shock.
You not seen Nindraug before? And he like dives under the water as a splash, and like comes up like 10 seconds later on the other side of you guys with like a little fish in its mouth, and it flips its head, and this fish boop, goes down its throat, and he makes a big swallow. Nindraug, at your service. Who are you looking for?
He looks to the Rohirrim, and he looks back to Nindraug. My father, he's taken by orcs.
Orcs. Nasty creatures. Nindraug's friends of old, not like them either. I know which way they head. They dirty, filthy things. Leave things behind, like this. And he has, like, on his back, like a little otter backpack. And he swivels it around his chest and rummages through it. And he pulls out, like, some freshwater mussel shells. And there is, like, an ancient-looking coin. You might think his ring's going to come out there, but no rings. A few old, like, rusted pieces of jewelry. And eventually he gets, like, a note that's sopping wet. And he kind of looks it up. We dropped this! And he holds it up for one of you to take.
Very gingerly, Derc will kind of creep over one step at a time and take it to look at it.
Wand dropped. It's this little note. It's gathered in a rough hand, a barely literate hand, and it says, "Orcs be gathering in the Swanfleet. They bring what they took. Meet at Beggar's Dell, northeast of Tharbad. Do it quiet, come alone, and you'll get your share. Reward be rich if done right. Can you read? You read?
I am lettered. He looks at the writing. He'll look to Fenlaf. A gathering in the Swanfleet, Beggar's Dell, northeast of Tharbad.
He looks at the note and then looks back to you. Says, "You believe that orc wrote this? Do orc write?"
It's poorly written. If an orc were to write it, this would be a orc's writing.
I had never
Though
thought
I
they had the
suppose
capacity.
he thinks about it, and there were horses. There were horses and other things in the track, right? In the tracks.
In the marshes, there were occasionally horses, yes.
Yeah, he thinks on it. Could be men of the shadow. There's what wrote it. Those what consort with orcs, either from my tribe or elsewhere. Well, not my tribe, but my people's.
Yes, I had heard of such rumors. But he looks at the giant otter still and he says, "Where do you come from, thing, and how do you speak?"
Come from now or come from long ago? Oh, now I have a home. Nindraug has family. Many little Nindraug I make. But long ago, she splashes in the water. Woken up by the fair folk. Long time ago. When the trees, he kind of looks up towards the sky, brought light to the heavens.
Yes, he's kind of speechless. Just, we thank you for your aid, I suppose.
Yeah, Derc will look to Nindra. Great creature of the marsh. Thank you for this boon. Would you ask of one in return?
Nindraug need no thanks. Nindraug need no payment. Nindraug has what I need. And he starts to put all his little belongings back in his backpack. But Nindraug do like to talk. Our creators made us to talk. Just any time you can, stop by. Give me gossip. I spread it all over the marsh. Nindraug show you secret way. Cross the river. Overlook Beggar's Dell. Nindraug not like hurt, but you kill nasty orcs. Nindraug not care.
We will follow you then. He looks to Fenlaf and shrugs.
Yeah, he just shakes his head and turns his horse and starts following.
We're gonna follow this giant otter.
And he, as you walk through these marshes, through these secret ways, he finds solid ground mostly for you. But more often than not, you also find yourself following just a snake-like wake in the water as Nindraug makes his way here and there. Every once in a while, he'll just disappear for 20 minutes and you won't find him. And he'll show up like 50 yards ahead and say, Nindraug fast, why are you so slow?
The marsh is
Not
deep.
used to walking in water.
We are
And
not
he'll do
fish. We are
scream
men.
like. There we go. And as it were, Belechor, Finduilis, and Tarnion entered Bree. They made their way to the prancing pony, and
You might want to switch
You
the
know,
scene. Just
oh yeah, I got it. There you go. Activate. There you are. Bunch of clones.
My
Made their
God,
way
it's
in-
uncanny.
They make their way into Bree, into the back room with the prancing pony. As they enter, they might recognize many voices that they've traveled with in the past, or done tasks, or even had skirmishes or small battles on the borders of Ariador. But they can hear the tankards of ale clinking. They can smell the heavy smoke, and their hearts are likely gladdened. I'll let you guys take it away. And Aragorn's making his way around, talking to all of them and saying his hellos.
Yeah. Tarnion's absolutely in his element, so he turns and gives a smile back over his shoulders to Belechor and Finduilas, and kind of just nods to them as he strides in the room, and just kind of it looks like he's about to kind of announce himself, and then he realizes that that would seem a little disrespectful to the captain. So instead, he makes his way to one of the tables and starts making his way around, swapping news with people, reintroducing himself, and looking very happy to see so many of his kind of, I was going to say kin, but not immediate kin, but his people in so many in one place at once.
And Belechor is making his way through the crowd as well. He's walking through shoulder to shoulder with some of the other rangers who are stopping to talk to him, ask him how his training went, since Belechor is so young, and he doesn't have a lot of experience outside of the angle. They're catching up on him. Some are just inquiring about the angle, what it's like there now, how his trip here was. He's walking through, there's he can smell the damp earth from outside, from the light rain, the wood smoke coming from the hearth. You can smell the faint tang of brewing ale coming from the back, and he finds a seat next to where Tarnion is, and makes room for Finduilas to sit down as well, and slides into the heavy oak table and finds his seat there amongst his kin and his people, waiting to find out what this fellowship was called for.
Yeah, Tarnion is going to be talking until anyone calls for quiet. He's got a lot of people to catch up with here.
Yeah, as you guys catch up, why don't you guys give me either riddle or insight? So you can figure out what you glean from these conversations.
Oof.
Yeah, nothing.
If you have any other skill, I'm always open to suggestions. If courtesy could be used, perhaps.
Yeah, I was wondering if I could do either courtesy or in hearten.
Yeah, either one of those. Just describe to me kind of how it goes.
Yeah, so probably the mood is a little dark here. Everyone's getting together. They haven't seen each other in a while, but the tidings on the road these days are never good. Everyone's taken losses. There's a sense of gathering shadow. So he's going to use Enhearten because he's going to be swapping news with people. But as he always does, he's trying to put a little positive spin on it. Give people a sense that there is still hope. Oof.
Not even that, but everybody seems on edge. The only thing you've been picked up on are these tense rumors that the Rangers of the North are just not going to be that anymore. There are rumors going around that Aragorn's just going to send everybody far and wide, and most of the people here, some of them have even built families. Even in the Angle, some of the Dunedain may have families there. They don't necessarily want to leave. And so there's a lot of talk between, commitments back home versus duty to Westerness and the bloodline. What are you doing, Doc? Anything in particular? Do you want to try a
Yeah.
different skill?
There's really, you know what? There's really nothing that he is skilled in that would give him any really good insight in this kind of situation. I mean, he can try awareness, awareness of the types of conversations that are being had around him, just trying to keep an ear out for what other people are saying.
Go for it. You're picking up on the same. Everybody's just very tense, and maybe none of your other kindred from the angle are here, but you're getting again this conflict between, your duties to the borders of Ariador and what you've built there, versus your duties to your chieftain, your leader, and what you need to do there. And so the mood, and unfortunately, one that began with mirth, then seeing old friends, old traveling companions for the first time in years for some of you, to rest from the road and warm your weary bones by the fire. A bit of a dour mood is kind of descended on the entire establishment. It's at this point that your chieftain Aragorn kind of sees that the mood is shifted, and it's time to basically let everybody know why they're here. And so he stands up and starts to make a brief speech. Let's see here. I'll change my tune. Let's see here. Aragorn's address. He stands maybe on one of these tables so everybody can see him, and eventually the murmuring of the crowd dies down, and he lifts his voice clear and kingly into the smoke and gloom of the room. He says, "Kinsmen of the North, long have we kept watch over these lands. In silence we have guarded the borders of Ariador while the world forgot our names. But the time for quiet watchfulness may be drawing to its end. Rumors grow with each passing season. Whispers come on the wind from the east. Stronghold of the enemy is no longer empty." When he says that, a murmur goes through the crowd. The land of shadow, long deserted, stirs again with fire and with malice. And the wise do not speak of it plainly. But even in their silence, my kinsmen, there is fear. And here in the north we have seen the signs. Orcs in numbers, fell beasts on forgotten roads. The air itself is thick with unrest. Now I have taken counsel with Mithrandir, with Lord Elrond, and even with that proud leader of what some call the White Council. We must take action. We must open our own eyes, so that the lidless eye may grow ever more in might. May not grow ever more in might. I will not soften what must be said. Many of you will be sent beyond our borders, east into Wilderland, south into broken lands where powerful secrets still lie hidden, or west, where old tales may yet show their worth. Your task is not only to protect, but to know. We must learn what moves beyond our gaze, and whether the shadow that stirs is truly the same as once sought to cover these lands in darkness, or another enemy. Go then with courage, and remember, wherever you walk, you are still the sons of Numenor. And rather than a cheer or a "Hear ye!" there's just a silence that settles over the room, as what many thought would come to pass is coming to pass. And I'll let you guys roleplay that.
Yeah, and as the sound returns to the room, just for a second, Belechor can just make out that Tarnion says quietly to himself, "Sons of Numenor, but so much diminished. Ever the present is less than the past, ever we diminish." And then sighs and stares into his ale. It's quite rare for Tarnion to get in a down mood, but if there's one thing calculated to do it, it's referring to the past and for him to think about how much greater he considers their past than their present.
Yeah, Belechor, under the the low rumble and hum of all the rangers talking amongst themselves, discussing what was just told to them, Belechor looks over to Finduilis with his eyes, his brow furrowed, knowing what they saw on their trip here, and he turns over to Tarnion and says to Tarnion, "It's the signs have been there. We have witnessed it ourselves. Not only recently, we saw a pale rider working with orcs and man together. They beset a carriage, killed the humans that belonged to the carriage. And then not long after, Finduilis and I, we had to make shelter in Weathertop. After Creebane was seen flying ahead of us, above us. There are spies out even now. We must be careful. We must let them know."
Shadow
As
does
he's
gather.
like motioning to the crowd.
Very well. Yes, you should carry those tidings, but carry them first to the captain. I will see what tales the others tell. And he begins to circulate amongst them. And I don't expect to get anything more mechanically from this. It's just what he would do.
Belechor nods in understanding and pushes himself away from the tables. The bench grinds against the stone floor. He pushes away, and he looks around for their captain so that he can give them the information of what they saw on their journey here.
Eventually, you find Aragorn, son of Arathorn. He has just finished speaking with two other rangers and gives them a somber nod, and they return it and leave, and his gaze falls upon you. It's a piercing gaze, but not unkind, but it's a gaze that might fill your heart with both sorrow and dread at the same time, because it's a knowing gaze, like he knows what you're bringing to him. And as you turn to your right, Belechor, you see Finduilis' usually smiling mouth is now dead even, set in stone. And now it just dawns upon you, all this insight comes in rushing at once, all these insight rolls you failed. That Finduilis probably knew the whole time. It would be odd for an elf courier to accompany one such skilled as yourselves. He probably had other things to be doing. But this wasn't a task to be done lightly, and let alone accompany you all the way from Weathertop to Bree. Finduilis knew that you were going to be sent on the task. And so the first thing that Aragorn says to you is, Finduilis has told me. You saw him then. One of the mysterious ones, a pale rider on the road.
Belechor nods. The glow of the fire and the hearth kind of bouncing off the side of his face. The hum of the crowd behind him talking about everything. Belechor nods in acknowledgement. We saw the pale one. He was on the road. We saw him from the vantage of the weathertop. He left before we could make chase. We were too far. But we saw Creebane as well. There are signs and spies about. I know you've called us here for this reason. What else do you need from me, Captain?
Strange tales are woven about you, Ranger. Many came here by secret ways, and none yet. None had discovered the enemy such as yourself. You must think on this. Your friend, Tarnion, is he nearby?
Belechor looks over his shoulder, over at Tarnion sitting at the table, and tries to catch his eye. Steps aside just a little bit to create somewhat of a motion to catch Tarnion's attention.
Speak to him.
Takes time in a moment. He just come over. Yeah.
Yeah. Speak to him for a moment. I must have a moment with Finduelis. And the two of them step away and allow you guys just a moment to chat before you speak again.
Yeah, Belechor turns to Tarnion and reiterates the trip here and what they saw as far as the this pale rider and the orcs working with the human, the Creebane that they witnessed flying near Weathertop. What do you make of this, friend? Who do you think has beset our lands? I mean,
Tell me more of this pale rider.
Well, he was in the distance. I had helped the driver of a cart. His wife had been killed by orcs. I was able to stabilize him, stop his bleeding, but we could not carry him all the way here just yet. As we took to Weathertop to find shelter from the Creebane, we looked down in the distance, and from our vantage point, we could still see the cart and the man. A pale rider, in leather, riding atop a horse. He came through, and with spear, he skewered the man on the ground. He looked up at us, knowingly almost, as if he knew we were there watching him, but knew we could not reach him. He gave us a look, and then turned his horse and rode off.
Was this a man, not an orc?
It was a man, correct, Bo?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yes, he was a man, not an orc using a horse like that, but a man with a spear. But his visage was light. The moonlight hit him, and he was pale. He did not have the sun-kissed skin of you or I out here. He was even paler than our friend Finduelis over here.
I do not know. Can I make a lore check? Would that help?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me do that. Oh.
Great success.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's the Creebane that kind of tip you off. They should not be that far north. You've seen them on many of your travels south, but really makes you think south is, you know, that they are used as messengers in areas around Dunlin and even parts of the Gap. But it's strange that they could be directed so far north. It's also strange that a human atop a pale horse, at least seeming so regal and so skilled, would be working with orcs or whoever was thought to be responsible for that massacre. As far as the identity of who could be this pale rider, that escapes you.
So Tarnion looks thoughtful and then says to Belechor, the Crebain are native to Dunland, far to the south. Perhaps we should begin our search there, travelling to southern lands to see what has brought them this far north. I fear that these troubles are wider than our own lands if something has drawn them so far from their home. I will see if the captain is amenable to us heading in that direction. But I think you and I should travel together, Belechor.
Yes, I don't doubt your counsel, Tarnion. Your experience would be extremely beneficial for me in my training. I'll gladly follow you.
Well, our skills complement each other, my friend. And he goes and he nods to him and then goes over to try and, kind of wait for Aragon to finish his conversation with Finduilas. Drawing Belechor with him as he goes.
They do, and they both turn to you. And Aragorn says, Tarnion, it has been many years.
He bows his head and says, it has that, my captain. And the years have been kinder to you than they have to me, I think. And he pauses and then realizes he's about to flatter someone who does not respond to flattery and kind of swallows it and then says, I have a request to make. I think it would be best to send Belechor and I south to the land where the Crebain are more normally found, to see what has drawn them north. Would that be amenable to you? I believe that Belechor and I would work well together. He is swifter to act than I, and surer with bow and blade. Surer in the wild, but I know the old paths and the names that open doors, the words that will avoid the need to draw a blade. We are of different temper, but our strengths run alongside one another. I think our mission would be well served by us travelling together. What say you, my captain?
As you say that, Aragorn and Finduilas are giving them each other a knowing but stern smile. I hoped you would say as much, Tarnion. Though it's been many years, they have brought you wisdom and bravery. And though Belechor here has not as many, I do not doubt that they will soon sit upon his brow like a bright and shining star. He puts his hand on your left shoulder. Two of you then, to the south. I have met with Mithrin. Go ahead.
No, I was just sorry. I thought you were pausing. I was just even so, my captain.
Mithrandir tells me that the highest among his council, Saruman, still dwells in the gap. He can be trusted. If you find of anything of concern, report it to him. There are rumors there of unrest, orcs multiplying in the southern Misty Mountains, of a king in Rohan who has fractured his family and cares not for the peace of his people. These are not tidings that come often from the south, and it does not bode well for the rumors coming out of the east.
The counsel of a wizard would be most welcome. Such wisdom is rare and precious. These tidings are indeed ill. We will travel into the south and see what may be seen. And bear word, I am back to you, either ourselves or through trusted messengers. What can be done, we will do, my captain.
He nods. Findwillis will accompany to Rivendell. I have many things there to attend to. Someone I have not seen in more years than you, Tarnion, although I miss her more dearly.
Tarnion nods with a little understanding. He heard a rumor. He hears all the rumors.
With that, I'll give you guys a little scene to kind of role play, maybe gearing up for your journey. I'm not going to do the whole journey roll to get the party together tonight, but I'll let you kind of role play that whole kind of montage, if you, I guess, would say. So I'm going to do this. The fanfare. That. And I'll let you guys role play that, like your whole journey south. And then what I think I'm going to do is, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to make you roll at all. Just give me the role play.
Yeah, Belechor, they'll make arrangements for rooms there for the night, I'm sure, and leave in the morning. Belechor will make sure to find Findwillis before he leaves with Aragorn, and say his goodbyes and to Findwillis and thank him for his company on the journey here and his help on the journey here. And then turn, of course, to Tarnion and work with him in getting our supplies and everything together to leave in the morning.
Yeah, and Tarnion will be briefer, but also wish Findwillis a safe journey. And he'll probably, being a little bit of a scholar, he will say goodbye to him in Sindarin. He probably doesn't speak it that well, but probably knows a few phrases here and there. It takes him not very long to get ready. He's, like so many of them, he spent his whole life journeying. He has few possessions and they can be gathered quickly. He's spending a little time here just tending to some rips in his cloak, a little bit of damage to his boots, but he patches it all up, buys a little food, and then I guess we'll see them setting out of Bree together. The old road of the Greenway, once well travelled, but now just so deserted. Stretching out before them, and we see that Tarnion has he has this scroll case that I mentioned earlier, and it turns out to be full of maps. He fishes through them until he finds one, and basically pulls it out, and it really just indicates they need to follow the road. And so it's going to be a relatively easy journey for them, as far as he sees. They'll need to be wary, but there's not much navigation to do, so he would probably for his part want to spend a lot of the time just walking and occasionally talking. I don't know what Belechor would want to do.
Anything else, Belechor?
No, that's pretty much it.
Why don't one of you guys give me a travel roll, whoever's better, just so it lets me flavor this next bit of roleplay.
I'm pretty good on travel. You might
And
find it.
and Belechor, why don't you gain your heart back for resting in the sanctuary?
Whew.
Nice. You okay if I make the roll, Doc?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Cool.
Traveler.
Oh no.
Oh, that's all right.
Oh,
He's really good at it in general. Oh,
this time Ranger.
yeah. So I guess because he's not used to traveling with someone else. It feels like such an easy thing to follow the road. He forgets that the road is worn and not very clear in places, particularly as it goes past the Barrow Downs and through between there and the South Downs. It's not always clear, and he should be paying more attention.
You guys just arrive a little worse for the wear, but eventually up ahead, you do see what looks to be, on your last day of travel. It took about, you failed your roll, probably about 13, 14 days, almost 2 weeks. So we're still in the spring, but it's been a long time on the road down the Greenway. You do pass down the Barrow Downs, but and the South Downs. So once that scenery, passes, you're through plains and you see the ruins on either side during the day. I mean, this used to be the kingdom of Cardolin, and so you see it on either side, but you have a task to do. You're not so introspective as you were on your way to Bree. No, there's danger ahead. There's information to obtain, but there's always your mission of being a Dunedain, of a ranger, to protect the free peoples of Middle Earth. And so we're going to move back to. You guys are finally almost together. Back to Dunland. Let's see here. Activate.
And you guys been hunting those orcs for a while.
Audio. Check. Audio went
Yeah.
out for a minute.
That otter's got
Yeah,
us
we hear you.
moving in ways which you are not used to.
That sounds wrong.
Good.
So over the better course of a day, you do follow this thing through the murk, but eventually it leads you. Up there, over the cliff. Look down into Beggar's Dell. There you find the orcs.
Yeah, Derc will look, see if he can see them.
Can you hear me? My audio is going in and out. I think it's
Yeah,
Well,
I
we
hear you.
I
Yeah.
hear you.
okay. So yeah, Nindrag says, Nindrag's no fighter, and he kind of leads you there. And as you kind of crawl up over this cliff overlooking Beggar's Dell, it's not exactly like the picture here. Might be closer, might be longer. You see some hastily constructed tents and what look to be like hunched figures around this fire. And then on the other side, you see a couple wagons, covered wagons. Far in the distance to your right, you see Tharbad. And it's a functional town. It's a city, but it's just downtrodden. And the people there are just a shadow of their former glory. So dim lights, you can't see much. And you just hear voices in the middle of the night, guttural voices. You can't make out what they're saying.
Dirk, he'll look for two things. The first is he'll see if he sees his father near anything in particular. If he shows up, happens to be near a fire or anything like that, and if he doesn't, whether he does or doesn't, he starts doing a head count of how many orcs he can see.
Yeah, give me a scan check there, sir. with a -1d. That's it's dark.
Oh. I just hit. Nope.
You can make out there's 2, 3, 4 orcs, one of them larger than the others, scattered around the fire. You can see on the other side there's a couple men. 2 of them are like pissing in the river. So you don't see any signs of your father. Nothing at all. Too dark to tell. He could be in one of the tents, could be in one of the wagons, could be anywhere at all. You do see some ill-descript hunks of meat being turned over a spit.
Yeah, Derc thinks on that. He looks to Fenlaf. I count 6. 2 men near the river, relieving themselves. 4 orcs, huddled around some very mangy-looking meat.
I am not much for stealth, unfortunately. But perhaps if I rode into their camp we could confuse them. Are you any good with that bow?
Better with my spear, and I am good with stealth. Perhaps I have a plan. I would hear your thoughts on it.
Tell it.
I can try to creep down, be among them when you strike. I'll go on your signal when you come charging. I'll slip out, strike them from behind, perhaps try to kill the men near the river. If we strike them hard and fast, we might take them by surprise, kill a few before they even know what's happening. What say you?
Sounds as good of plan as any.
And he'll look at the camp. Does it seem like there's anywhere that I can get to where I can maybe, like, shake my spear and signal him from the wherever he's at?
Yeah, if you crawl down and close enough, it's kind of marshy land. Your horse riding checks will probably make you do something, make sure you don't fall off during the maneuver.
Oh, I'm
So
crawling, but
yeah. I'm talking with
Oh.
Karloff. You can crawl down. Why don't you give me a stealth check?
before I start going down there, I'll look.
Yeah, before you start going down.
I'll shake my spear at you, let you know when I'm ready, and then I'll go when you go.
Very well.
Ride hard, horse lord, and I will then, at that point, slowly start to crawl my way down into that camp. And you said stealth?
Yes, sir. Great success. I'm gonna put you wherever you want to be positioned. I finally think I have a way to get the crew together. So looking down, Fenlaf, over this kind of low cliff down to the fen, to this marshy area.
You're very robotic right now, Bo, just to let you know.
Yeah, everything sounds fine on my end. Am I cutting out?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear him fine.
Might be something you're into. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, it looks okay on mine.
Okay.
But yeah, you can get down there, but you're gonna have to circle around, back out towards the road, and then kind of go down where it's like a gentler slope that your horse will be able to do that. Okay, and as you pick your way in that direction, you can see 2 figures kind of going down the causeway, down the road, and that's going to bring the role play back to Belechor and Tarnion. You're not involved in any of this tense stuff. You see finally Tharbad in the distance. You think you're going to have a nice place to stay tonight. When off in the distance you see a little twinkling fire kind of down in a dell. It's very possible you might just think it's somebody camping for the night. But can both of you guys, both of the Dunedain, give me an awareness check?
The
Belechor?
competent one succeeds.
The competent one succeeds. And you see, ahead of you on the road, just off to the side, a single solitary orc or goblin. Just keep an eye on the road.
As soon as I spot the image and can make out that it's a solitary goblin, I immediately let out just the slightest little whistle of air to notify Tarnion to stop, and I hunch down, in the kind of grassy area there, and signal him to come down to my level.
Yeah, do the same. We don't move jerkily. We just kind of smoothly and relatively fast kind of duck down into there.
It's like a shark's dorsal fin going underwater.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Fenlaf, you see these three forms. You see like the huddled form on the side of the road, and two others that you don't think has recognized it kind of skirt off to the other side. And that's as you kind of pick up your way towards the road, trying to angle back down to the fire with your horse.
If you're talking, Tet, you're muted.
So I see them.
Yes, just silhouetted against the full moon.
Yeah, he would. Can I see what they look like, or do I just see silhouettes of people?
Just cloaked man figures, and then the on the side of the road is obviously an orc with a bow out, keeping watch.
Yeah, I think he would keep his eye on them and watch the Dunlending companion, trying not to leave him out in the lurch when he's going in there.
Yep, you see him picking down through the reeds. He looks like he's doing an expert job.
Yeah, he's just waiting for now.
Men of Westerness, what do you do?
I will let Belechor take the lead. He's the more experienced warrior.
Yeah, Belechor. Do we spot Fenlaf approaching? Do we
I'm
see?
not approaching. I'm just waiting.
He's down kind of below your line of sight. If you can think of like an embankment that kind of goes up a road, if you're down lower, you can't see it. But you can't see them, but it's just like in a first-person shooter. It's
Okay.
the position you want to be in.
So Belechor is scanning, the whole area to see if there are any other of these goblins around. He can't think that there's only one. If there's one, there are others.
I think you could probably see little dots around the campfire. Yeah.
Okay, so he knows there's more than one, and this one is probably a watch.
I know I'm being sneaky to orcs and everything, but is it possible that they're able to see where I am? Even though, I'm sneaking, but
I don't
depending on where the
necessarily
perspective.
think so. Maybe if they're
Yes.
looking for you.
There, being pretty sneaky.
Yeah, and Belechor is going to slowly pull his longsword out, have it in hand, and he's going to try and sneak up on this scout that's coming up on him.
While he does that, I'll draw my bow. I'm not the best shot, but I can try and take it out if he gets in trouble.
All right, Belechor, you go first. Set your stance to forward.
Can I also try and help his stealth? Can I just throw a stone into the undergrowth, like far away from us? Just to kind of get the orc looking in that direction for a moment, just to leave him a little distracted and hopefully more.
You can do that. You have to spend a hope to do it. And it'll
Sure.
give him plus 1d.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. And since he is my fellowship focus, my fellowship focus
Because
is aiding me. I get 2d.
2d.
Nice.
Actually, just do a stealth check. If you'll just kill him if you're successful. Oh, it looks like
Describe it? Question mark.
what does it look like?
Doc?
Yeah, so Belechor is making his way through the tall grass in the dark. He can feel like the moist earth under him from the recent rains, and he's staying low, using his cloak and hood to shield him from the moonlight. As he sneaks up, gets close to this goblin archer, he can hear the click of a rock landing in the distance, and notices the goblin archer twitch and look in that direction. And just as the goblin archer is looking off in that direction, Belechor is able to rise up out of the grass from behind the goblin archer and bring his sword up to his neck, silently pulls it across his throat, bleeding him out and holding him before he can drop and make noise, and slowly just lowers him to the ground, and then hides back under his cloak in the darkness under the wet grass.
Go stack, go stack. As he goes down to the ground, his black ichor leaks out all over the ground, perhaps staining the tips of your boots. He is no more. As you gaze down to your left over the embankment, you see dots around the campfire. You don't see the horsemen yet, but you can now hear guttural voices drifting over the night air. Why don't you bring him out here and eat him next? No, we've got to keep him whole and fresh. He knows a lot, and the boss man will want to question him. Oh, shut up, you brats! Eat your meat! You'll eat what I give you, you ask for no more! You hear me, blokes?
Belechor, knowing that Tarnion is keeping a keen eye on his position, knowing what distance he snuck off into and crawled into, raises his hands above the grass into the moonlight so he knows Tarnion can see, and uses some hand signals, that he knows that his fellow ranger would recognize, to let him know that there are a number of other orcs down by the fire.
Nice.
So the embankment would kind of be up in, oh crap. Let's see here, up like this direction. Fuck. Sometimes Foundry's interface, man. Like up here. That's a cliff, and there's like a ramp down here, if that kind of makes sense, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll delete that because it's ugly. All right. Go ahead.
I guess Tarnion will gesture to Belechor to take the lead, and he'll try and cover him as he advances. And then if Belechor's able to get into a good position through stealth, then Tarnion will join him. But he won't have both of them move at the same time, so that one of them is always on watch. And he's probably going to, he's got a bee trained on the nearest goblin.
Yeah, Belechor is going to start making his way down the embankment from the little ledge they're on there. He's going to start slowly staying low to the ground, make his way down, and start coming down this south end of where these orcs and goblins are.
Give me a stealth.
I am going to use a hope point on this.
I see a 10.
You make it without difficulty. What do you do, Tarnion?
Okay, so what am I seeing? I think it's
You see, as you get closer, or at least as you kind of focus in on the situation, you do see. Yeah, I think my audio keeps cutting out too. I think there's a problem. You see,
mostly sounding okay to me. Yeah.
you see Belechor creep off to your right, and he's able to get relatively close to these orcs. And as you get closer, you too, Belechor, see there's 4 of them gathered around the fire. 2 of them with horn bows, kind of laying by their side. Another with a short sword, and there's a larger one on the other side of the fire. The 2 humans don't seem to be really wanting to be around them that much. They move from relieving themselves to having a snack on the side of the stream and having a conversation.
So Tarnion is going to try and make his way down stealthily, but he's not very good at stealth. So he's going to. Is there any way he can be extra slow and careful, like take a lot longer over the attempt, but be more careful?
Yeah, don't you do like awareness?
Okay. I also think that will give Ghost's character a bit of a while too. Derc to move a little further forward as well, because I'll be pretty slow.
Oh, Ghost can Ghost got like a great success. He can put himself wherever he wants.
Nice.
And so can you.
Awesome. Great. So yeah, I'm actually going to move a little closer around the back of around the side of the tent here. Because while he's not great with the sword, he's better with that than he is with the bow. So, but I guess we can. Yeah, maybe he's going to be around about here actually, because he wants to take a shot and then run in.
I think the only person that knows everything that's going on is Fenlaf at this point. So,
yeah,
Fenlaf,
he likes to watch.
what are you doing? Because you know that Derc is creeping down from one side, and you have 2 unexpected helpers who you saw slay an orc and then crawl down the embankment on the other side. And though they passed their stealth checks, you saw them from the very beginning, so you could track their shadows as they slink across the mire.
Yeah,
and yet here you are.
He's getting uneasy, but he is going to wait for Derc as he said he would. And when he gets the signal, he will lay his heels into the flank of his steed and charge.
Derc, son of Wolf, what's your role play to kick off the combat?
So after Derc creeps his way through the marsh down and very carefully sidles through this small little creek, he'll weasel his way onto the plains here and set himself up nicely behind these 2 orc consorting scum, and he will lift his spear and wave it a bit towards where he knows Fenlaf is to be, readying himself to run this man through as soon as they react to the horse charging down.
And did you give me the signal? Did I miss that? Or?
Yes, yeah, wave the spear
Look at
at
his
you.
signal.
Yeah, so, okay.
You have the signal.
When he sees it through the din of the fire that is burning in the camp and the orcs around it. He wheels his horse about and turns and kicks the flanks of the beast and yells out for all to hear, "For the mark, for the king, for the true Prince Fingal, death rides with me!" And he holds his axe aloft, and the hooves of his horse plop through the marshy, partially standing water, and he charges into battle. Forward stance.
I'm gonna give you guys all a surprise round for this, and if you make an athletics check with a -1d, I will give you a +1d on your attack, Fenlaf. Which one are you going after, by the way?
Say that again. You'll give me a +1d for what?
Oh, just making an athletics?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you do an athletics.
I'll go against Snurg, the smallest of the three. Is he doesn't look the smallest of the three token wise.
Well, maybe there's more you don't know about.
Okay.
You don't know what spawn. What spawn pit did Snurg?
Watch out for Big Snurg.
I go for Big Snurg.
Okay, you guys get to pick. You guys get to pick which ones you want.
It's giving off big snug energy.
I'm going for Earl the Griefer for being.
I love it. Who you going for, Doc?
And I'm going right here for the one closest to me next to the fire.
What's his name? Say it.
Athletics roll. Success.
His name is Gimbug Longfingers.
Who are you getting, Tarnion?
Vlatrug.
Oh, yours is boring.
Yeah. But I don't want to mess with anyone with disturbingly long fingers.
Give yourself 2D, Fenlaf. 2D. Okay, let me put everybody on combat here. Everybody, boom.
Yeah,
combat.
I should have one for being forward, right, and one for being.
No opening volley. And then everybody put themselves in their stance, and then we're going to move from forward to open to defensive.
Right, so how do we do that? How do we put ourselves in stances?
So if you click on your token, if you right-click on them, there's a little thing you can pick your stance.
I do not see that. I see toggle combat.
I'm sorry. I think I had to hit begin combat. There, yeah, you can see it.
Oh,
There we go.
Okay.
It's pretty slick. It goes fast. We tried out last night. Is everybody going? There's no reason not to go forward on this round.
Yeah,
no
surprise
reason.
attack.
If they can't attack back, yeah.
They can't attack back, yeah.
Sorry, how do I change it?
Right click.
So you just right click on your token, and there's like a little stance thing to the left.
I see.
And then when you attack, you just have to make sure you target with the T or whatever, whoever your Earl the Griefer. So Fenlaf, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So using my axe, let's make sure I'm doing this correctly. Click that. I get 2 bonus.
That's to all Griefers.
I don't really. So when I pick the bonus die, do I pick them on the right side? I see. Okay, I got it.
Yep.
I think. Do I need to pick 2 or just? Oh, I see. Okay. It's double.
I gave you 2 because you got a great success. Yeah.
Well, I have 1 for being forward and 1 for whatever. So, yeah, I'm just.
Well, it does that part automatically. Yeah, it should do that part automatically.
Oh,
The bonus dice that you pick are just what I tell you to do.
okay. So I should have a total of
Yeah.
3.
Everything else is automated.
Okay, so
Yep.
I expect I'll have 3 bonus die then. Okay, 3 bonus die plus whatever so I'll have lunch. Okay. 30. That's injury too, so he should need to roll protection.
Oh boy. Snurg's smallest of 3?
Yep.
Little smaller
Alright,
now.
damage.
Do you want me to?
And he's got to roll protect, huh?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because so my injury rating.
Yeah, he
on my
does.
weapon
Yeah,
is
you
18,
like your
so
yeah, you got your edge or whatever we used to call it, right?
yeah. And then he would have to beat. What does he have to beat? Does he have to beat the 30, or does he have to beat something else? I don't think that makes sense.
No, it's based on the rating of your axe.
Yeah, 18. So that's the injury rating of my axe. Is that what you mean? That's what I have to beat. What's he have to beat with protection?
Difficulty is 17. See a 17?
Oh, yes, I see it. Okay. I don't know
The
how
axe.
that's derived, but that's fine.
You probably will not get this.
Oh my god.
Oh, he hit the eye.
Smallest of 3? Bruh. Come down from that horse, man.
He does take 5 damage at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he kind of stands up.
Yeah,
Who's
he
next?
charges in, and just as he kind of rides by, swings his axe and hits the orc on the shoulder. It looks like it's about to deal like a death blow to the back of his head, but this orc turns at the last minute and kind of like smacks off his shoulder instead, the back of his shoulder.
All right, Tarnion.
Okay, so Tarnion kind of sneaks between the two tents, and then as he sees that happen, he realizes the goblins are distracted, so he just runs in, tries to make the most of his speed. He is swift. I don't know whether that will give me any advantage here, but right. I guess I'll just do the sword. Oh, item sword of type weapon is not available for the selected actor Tarnion.
Leave your sword and Bree?
Longsword two-hand?
Maybe. Yeah, I guess I need to just drag that to the action bar. Maybe that's what it is. Hold on, let's try that. Oh, you do not have permission to execute macro longsword two-handed.
You're not rolling off your sheet?
I'll just roll off the sheet. I was trying to roll off the bar, but yeah, okay.
Oh, I rolled off the sheet. I'll have to look at the bar and see.
Okay.
Success. You know what the rating is on that weapon or what it is?
I've just got damage 5, injury 18.
That's an injury then, isn't it?
That's an injury.
Yeah, but he can roll.
Oh, yeah.
Roll, right?
Yeah. I don't know if he'll make it. 5 damage.
Here comes an eye.
Death!
Death! Right for death! For ruin!
What does it look like? Did you slay him?
Yeah, so he just has time to turn and start making a snarl, but it immediately turns to a gurgle as Tarnion just rushes in and just slashes him two-handed across the throat as he turns, and then just lets his momentum carry him on to whoever this last orc is.
Ulag. Belechor, you're up.
Belechor, jumps out from the shadows from behind this tent and swings his sword at this first orc that he comes across. With a heavy blow.
That's what she said.
Oh, that's what the little window told me, that I got a heavy
That
blow.
kills him. That kills him without the. That kills him without anything.
Yeah, so
What was it like?
Belechor, he steps out, surprises this orc. The orc turns around in shock as he sees Belechor coming at him with the sword. And Belechor just brings the sword straight down across and cleaves him right down the middle and then kicks him into the fire.
Derc.
Yeah, after hearing the horse and seeing everybody reacting, Derc slides up, comes up from its belly, and goes to jab his spear into the back of this orc consorting filth.
Don't forget to use your Tengwars if you roll any.
Okay, what can you use those
You get
for?
special damage if you.
Oh.
It should give you a prompt.
Yeah, that's how I got the.
Mine didn't. Like when I rolled mine, I got a Tengwar, but I didn't get any special prompt for it.
Oh, really? That's weird.
Oh
I
wait,
did.
that's not me.
You said a bonus die for stealthing, or? Oh no, he's on
I didn't
horse.
get any Tengwars. That's why. Okay.
Oh, you don't need anything. You can just attack him.
Cool. That is also going to be protection roll because my injury is 14.
What's that look like?
Derc comes up and sticks the spear into his neck, and then boots him into the creek. He spins on the next man. You betray your own kind for these filthy orcs. No quarter, no mercy. And runs to go after him next.
Round 2. Set your stances. Choose your enemy.
Hey,
Forward.
one thing that we've already messed up is
Why we mess up?
in order
Injury?
to get like the edge or whatever, the special damage for pierce, which I cannot do anyway with an axe. But you have to roll the Tengwar, and then you can choose. This is page 99. Heavy blow, fend off, pierce, or shield thrust. You do protection when
There's a piercing blow, isn't it?
when there's
That's
a
right.
piercing blow, and the TN is the injury level of the actual weapon that hit you. So, like for instance, if you hit somebody and you had a weapon that was 18, they would have to beat an 18 with their protection roll in order to not get, I think it's wounded, right? If the roll fails, then the target is wounded.
Yeah, it's wounded for a PC, and then if it's NPC, unless they're like a bigger one, they just die.
Okay, just to let you know.
Okay.
Step forward.
It will also be forward.
Fenlaf.
Yeah, he just his horse kind of rears back, and as the front hooves come crashing down next to the orc, he swings his axe with a heavy overhead blow, trying to cleave the skull of this foul beast. And no bonuses from you, correct?
I'm gonna spend one of my hate to make your attack roll ill-favored.
Okay. Do I need to set something?
Yep, when you make your roll, there's a little toggle. It says,
Okay.
it's like favored. I don't know what it
Didn't
says.
do it.
No.
What does ill-favored do?
You roll 2 feet die and keep the worst one.
Okay, so let me roll another feet die.
Oh, Dolph.
Well, I
Kept the 8.
I take what it was originally. So 27, and I'm going to do heavy blow to. So do I gotta look at this. Do I get It looks like I rolled 2 Tengwars. I did. So do I get two or just one? Because
You get 2. You should
the
get
prompt
2.
is looking like 2, so he'll take an additional 12 damage. So he would take 17 damage.
17. Does it kill him? Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
the
dead.
axe just embeds itself right between his eyes, and as the orc is kind of stuck on the end of his axe, he wheels the horse around quickly, and the hindquarters of the horse knocks the orc off the blade.
Belechor.
Yeah, Belechor, after hewing down the goblin that was in front of him, knocking him into the fire, as the cinders kind of come sparkling up out of the little flames there, he brings himself up next to Tarnion, who has been fighting this one, and attacks him with his long sword. Oof, and
Oh! That's
yeah,
a
looks like
Yes.
I got 2 heavy blows there. I will take both of those.
You guys saved your good rolls for. The reason this blood's so huge because I shrank your tokens down to make the map passable.
That's all right. You can leave him a big blood spot. Yeah, so Belechor just steps forward. After Tarnion hit him, he walked in and just essentially just pummeled him down with his blade until he was just lying on the ground.
Derc, son of Vulf.
Goes snarling at Humble Jack.
Humble Jack turns. What? An otter? Is it one of those otters? Is that what I hear? It's like Oblivion. What's that noise? Is it one of those otters? Is that a miss?
It's not a miss. It's just a
Success.
normal old hit, 5 damage.
He's not quite dead. It's only one.
It's alright, we have time.
Okay.
Tarnion.
Can I safely take a bow shot at him?
You can move and hit him.
Okay.
Well,
I'll
wait.
do that.
Close quarter rounds go first. So he would attack
Everybody else
us
is-
first, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he's
Unless Tarnion can go.
no. He can do a close quarters attack. You can attack him.
Yeah, but he's talking about shooting with his bow. That's why I mentioned.
Yeah, but oh, I see. So if
Oh, I meant if you wanted to close an attack, you can. But if you wanted to wait, you could.
No, I'll close an attack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I will attack with longsword. Oh, sorry, I need to target that guy. Ah, no.
No.
Yeah, the running attack didn't work.
So Humble Jack's turn.
It is.
Oh, Humble Jack. He just tries to get away and defend himself. He's trying to leave. Would you let him run away? He does have Craven.
No.
He's been consulting with orcs.
Yeah. I would kill him.
Okay.
If I need to take Shadow, then I will.
Yeah, he just turns to you and picks up his cudgel that he has nearby and tries to lazily slap at you as he tries to run away. See if this works here.
I switched my stance.
No, I just don't think you can switch your
No,
stance in the middle of at the beginning
Yes,
of the round,
not
but not
too
in the
bad,
middle
yeah.
of the round. After you've declared it, that's what I'm saying. But we can talk about
Yeah.
that. It's not.
That's true. He misses. So now it's back normal.
I'm
Now-
forward if it needs to be said.
No. And you can go really in any order as long as you're forward. So
I'm just gonna end him. Send him away. This
He is
is
ended.
this is the piercing. Not that it
this
needs
is
to
the
be
piercing
done.
blow.
Yeah.
I'll just see just to see what happens, because he's gonna fail it unless he gets an eye. Yeah.
Run him down as he tries to escape, and I slam my spear into his back and drag him into the water. No mercy.
Sleep with the otters. And as you do that, there's just a hush falls over the whole scene. You can just hear the crackle of the fire and the dying gurgles of the orcs and the orc chieftain.
And Tarnion will look across at Derc and nod to him and say, "Well met, fellow warrior."
Derc pulls his spear out of the back of the Man of Shadow and turns to regard Tarnion. Well met to you. We are allies, aren't we? You're not planning on fighting me, are you?
Not at all. We both oppose the shadow. It ill befits men to fight each other in such times when darker foes abound. And he nods. I do not think I have met your like before. But your friend here, and he looks across and nods across to Fenlaf. Your friend here is, I think, of Rohan? I am Tarnion, a ranger of the north. We are pleased to find allies in such a place. This is, I should add, this is my companion Belechor, of the same kindred.
He says that Belechor is kicking the goblin's body out of the fire because the smell is becoming so strong of burnt flesh. And he kicks it and it rolls out, and as the cinders fly up into the night sky, Belechor walks out from behind the flame. He pulls the hood of his cloak down with some sweat, some black ichor across his brow, and he looks at the two men standing there. He nods to both Fenlaf and Derc. He says, well met, fellow men. He looks over at Derc. I'm unfamiliar with your clan, but you... And he looks over at Fenlaf. He looks at your armor. The horse is on your armor. A man of Rohan, I'm guessing, although I've never been. I've heard stories.
You have me at a disadvantage then, he says to both of you. He unsaddles, dismounts, standing on the ground with a small squish of the ground beneath his feet. He takes his axe and rubs it in the dirt to get the black ichor of the dead orc off of it. When satisfied, he pulls out a rag and cleans it briefly before slinging it back over onto his hip. He says, "This is Derc. I am Fenlaf. We had only just met moments before, truth be told. I am a wanderer, a traveler in these lands, and I do hail from Rohan. You are not Dunlandines, you do not appear.
Belechor looks over at Tarnion when he says that and kind of raises his eyebrow just a little bit. No, not Dunlanding. We are
It's okay.
men of Dunedain.
I know of not your home, or your allegiance.
Our home is far from the north. Our lands are the wilds these days. Our ancestors once dwelt in great cities, but those cities fell to the shadow, and now we oppose that shadow in small bands. We keep the roads safe. We hold back the shadow as best we can. In small bands, our way is stealth. It is working in small bands, as I have said. Often a single ranger. We keep the roads safe as best we can. But to the north, as with everywhere, there is a growing shadow. I am among my people a bearer of news, and I am keen to gather news from the Southlands. If you would permit us to share a fire with you, we could talk a little more.
He looks around the camp and then to Derc. I believe we are looking for someone before we can have a respite.
Bruce, I will give you what news I know. But first I must see if my father is here, or if they have done him ill. And he will start to check the tents.
Give me a scan check.
I can give it a look as well.
That's okay. You can find it. You start looking through the tents. At first, you find nothing in the first tent. The second tent, you search nothing at all. The third tent, pile of entrails. And as you approach closer, teeth. But then you see a pig's snout. Finally, moving on to a fourth tent. In the gloom, manacles you see at first, and then an old rag. Blood littering the floor. But then as fire flickers in the shadow as cast forth and moves out of the way, you see that the manacles have been opened. Broken. As if some contraption. And nearby you see a rock that is split open, sharpened on one side.
Crafty old man. He closes the tent flap. There's no tracks around that he can see immediately.
So the whole party can choose in doing this. I created a little skills test. So basically you have a tolerance of 4, so you get 4 rolls to get 3 successes. And so you can use hunting, scan, or explore in any way you kind of want. Pick up his
Belechor walks up, sees him, looking through the tents. Belechor walks up after, having just fought a battle with this man. You're looking for someone. Who is it, can I ask?
My father, we were hunting orcs near the mountains. An ambush went wrong. He was captured. I thought him dead, but I followed a trail and they kept him alive for some reason.
Belechor, looks in the tent and he sees the broken chain and the broken rock. And he looks back at Derc and nods in understanding. He kneels down and looks at the ground.
Shit.
Oh.
That's all 3 of them. So you pick up his trail. I'll let you figure out how you do it of your own ingenuity, but it's heading off towards the water, like towards Tharbad, like the river.
So Belechor is looking at the ground. He sees the broken chain and the broken rock. He looks at the ground, and as the rain starts coming down in the light from the fire, he sees the slight glistening of an imprint left in the damp grass there. He follows the imprint of the damp grass as it starts leading away from the tents and finds another piece of broken rock that was dropped just further down next to another imprint. He looks back over to Derc. I think we may know what direction, at least, your father might have gone. It is our mission to aid man in these lands, and if anyone is worthy of it, it is someone who we have fought side by side with against these foul beasts. If you would allow me, I would like to offer my help. And he looks off into the distance and motions the distance that he sees the tracks going.
Derc looks at it, and he looks to the ranger. And he looks to where the tracks go. The old fool went to Tharbad. Perhaps he's not as wise as he makes out. And he looks to the ranger. I would take your aid if you would offer it. I'll give you information as you ask. Help me find my father, alive or otherwise. He looks to Fenlaf. Will you aid me as well, Horse Lord? You played your part very well, and I'm grateful for your aid. I do not think I would have been able to take this camp alone.
Well, I am by your side for this. I promised that I would aid you in finding your father, and your father is not yet found. Plus, I have nothing else to do.
What does the name Tharbad mean to Tarnion? Can I make a law?
Sure. Let me see something too.
That almost seems like common knowledge to a ranger, I would think.
Yeah, give me a lore. Give me a lore.
No, I crushed it.
Yeah, success. I always want to still, even if it's that, like it's always good. We're always looking for extraordinary successes and stuff too. So yeah, it knows by what you know out of character. Tharbad was once a capital of Carlin, even longer back than that. It was crafted by the men of Westernest. In fact, it was at the end of the river you guys explored in that Second Age game. Remember when you went up the Guathlo?
Oh,
The
yeah.
Guathlo is none other but than this river that eventually flows out into the sea. So Vignalande, etc., ends up like this is a distal part of that river. So Carlon and Tharbad in particular has been in here forever. Layers on layer, top of layers. Kingdoms have come and gone and come and gone. And if anything, they're not an upright people, but they're survivors. They're crafty, they're tough. They've somehow eked out a living down here.
Okay. So yeah, name means something to him, and he immediately thinks of the ruins of Annuminas, and and his jaw sets a little as he thinks, yet another ruin of a more glorious past. And he nods across at Durkin says. My companion speaks for me as well. This is a clear duty. We would not leave you alone to face peril.
Father was wrong again. And he will, without elaborating, start heading towards the city.
I think that'd be a good place to end unless we have anything else.
Nope.
Cool.
Awesome. That was a good one. Thanks, Bo.
All right, brother.
Yeah. Thank you both. Thank you, everyone.